Okay, today's video we're going to be talking about what social media gets wrong about getting into shape and being healthy, basically. So, this is probably one of my biggest and strongest opinions in social media. I think there's a lot of people who look physically healthy, but they're actually not healthy. And I would definitely in the past put myself under this bracket, and I would probably say that I'm still not completely out of this bracket. So this is interesting for you guys to see, and it's also interesting for myself as it's reflecting on my own current decisions. So the most important thing at the moment that to do with this topic is that the truth is that people are in very good shape without being healthy, and this is the truth. I know a lot of friends who smoke weed a few times a week, drink twice a week heavily, and they're physically in very good shape. And that's the truth. They go to the gym, they work out, they eat high protein, they're in good shape. But these habits are destroying their body, and they don't know it yet, and it's going to catch up to them in the future. So let's have a look at the main problem. So one, the alcohol. Alcohol is going to age you very, very quickly. This is the truth. I don't drink a lot. I don't wrong. I'm not completely sober now. I haven't drunken for well, now it's only a month, but that's because I was on holiday. So I drank on holiday with my friends. Not often, like once or twice a week whilst I was away. So not a lot. I used to drink more. I didn't drink at all until I was 18 years old, and then I had my first drink when I was on holiday with my mates at 18 years old, and that was the first time I drank. And I'm 19 now, so I haven't drank a lot since. Had a few nights out, etc., but not a lot at all. So the alcohol is going to age you very, very quickly. It dehydrates your body. It raises your heart rate and your blood pressure, because a lot of these drinks, they have high sugar content. To start with, we're talking about cocktails, high sugar content. That's going to sit in your body, and that is going to be stored as fat. And with drinks like beer, cider, etc., high volume drinks, you are going to consume a lot of calories. So that's going to sit in your body and be stored as fat. So if you were to drink, the drinks I would recommend would be vodka lemonade, vodka lime soda, and mixed with juices. Try to stick to one drink the whole night. Don't be chopping and changing. That's how you get hangover. No one wants to be hangover. So that's what I would say. Yeah, they call the vodka lime soda skinny bitches, and my dad drinks now because they actually keep you hydrated, because it's carbonated water. So, or at least how my dad has them, it's just carbonated water with the vodka and the lime. So it keeps him hydrated. So you won't get a hangover the next day. You'll still feel the buzz of being drunk, and you won't be consuming anywhere near the amount of calories if you were drinking a beer, for example. So that's what I'd recommend on that front. Then it comes to the drugs. The drugs for me are a big no. I don't think there's any really big exceptions for doing drugs. I think smoking. I've smoked. I can count on my hand, on a single hand, the amount of times I've done drugs, and I've never done anything worse than smoking weed. And I've smoked weed once in the last 7 years. That's the truth. That's literally the truth. So, and I would never ever do it again. I made that very, very clear. I would never ever do that again. And what it's doing to your body, it's destroying your lungs, because you're smoking. It's destroying your lungs. It's damaging your brain. The weed especially is damaging your brain. It's destroying. You'll forget more things. You won't remember. That's not my side of things. I'm not a professional when it comes to knowing the side effects of drugs. I just know, in my opinion, it's bad. Don't do them. And that's basically why I stand with the drugs. If you want to do drugs, then that is your own decision, and you have to deal with the consequences of those decisions. For me, I don't have to deal with any of those consequences. I'm not interested in what they do to my body. I don't care about having that feeling. I don't want the feeling, because for me, the quote from Andrew Tate that he said, why don't you do cocaine? And he said, if I did it and I liked it, I would regret doing it, because then he'd be addicted. He spent loads of not probably not about the money, just about the addiction and how it would damage his body. And 2, if I didn't like it, I'd regret it. So either way, I'm going to regret it. So it doesn't make sense to do it. It doesn't make sense to do it at all. So stay away from drugs. The third thing that a lot of people who are in good shape, however they're unhealthy, is the sleeping patterns. The sleeping patterns are normally very, very poor. You know, whether they have a lack of structure in their life, where they don't wake up at the same time, go to bed at the same time. One day they're doing this, one day they're doing that. They might be at uni. Or if let's make it more generalisable for the world. You've got work, some days you start at 2 p.m, some days you start at 5 a.m. You know, this up and down is not good for your health. It's not good for your brain. Your rest and recovery will never be as good when that's happening. And getting control of your sleep and getting the adequate amount of sleep will massively prolong your life. Massively. Sleep. And I hate that, when you have these big inspirational people going, oh, I didn't sleep, I woke up like that. Like Kobe Bryant, for example. Oh, I woke up at 3 a.m, I didn't sleep. It's a lie. I promise you it's a lie. Rest in peace to him, of course. And no disrespect. However, you cannot perform at that high level of sport with a lack of sleep. And you're sleeping 4 hours a night. It's not possible. I promise you now, it is not possible. Your body needs at least 7.5 hours. I always say 7.5 hours is the sweet spot, because your body sleeps in 1.5 hour cycles. So 1.5 hours, 3 hours, 4.5, 6, 7.5. 7.5 or 9 is the sweet spot. When you're waking up in between one of these cycles, this is when you then start feeling extremely tired. Because you broke the cycle, you didn't complete the full cycle. So basically, getting 6 hours of sleep is basically the same as getting 7 hours and 15 minutes. That's basically how I kind of view it. And for example, if you're getting maybe 5 hours, 45 minutes, you're basically getting 4.5 hours sleep in terms of what the sleep will actually give you regarding the recovery side of things. So your body will be damaged heavily by that. And of course, that's not great. That's not great. And so back to the main topic of discussion, kind of, that there's a lot of influencers out there who aren't living a healthy lifestyle, who are in good shape, and it's a bad influence. Let me think of a few examples. So we have Clavicular, extremely popular, and he's thousands, hundreds of thousands of people watching. Boys, young boys, young men, who are being, he takes, I don't know what he takes. He takes some sort of steroid. I think it might just be testosterone or whatever he takes. He takes a bodybuilding steroid anyway, an anabolic steroid. And this is what keeps him in good shape, basically. He probably has a good metabolism as well. He's probably naturally athletic when he was in school, or naturally in okay shape. And he now parties, he does a lot of drugs, sleep's probably terrible. His test is probably, he takes tests, so it doesn't matter. But I was going to say it's probably shocking. And he's an example of someone who can be in good shape, and that then gives them some sort of value in their opinions of health. But that's not healthy. His lifestyle is far from healthy. He's collapsed from overdosing. He's had fits, etc. I mean, I don't study his life, but I know there's been a few things that have happened. And yeah, his body will shut down and it won't be healthy at all. So that's what I'm saying with the media people having the value and the power to be able to give an opinion that they shouldn't be able to give an opinion on. It's like, if you wanted an opinion on housing, you wouldn't ask someone who's homeless for advice on what house to buy. However, if they were dressed in really nice clothes, then you wouldn't know that they were homeless. So the point being is, just because they are in good shape, you wouldn't know that they're unhealthy. So taking health advice from them is actually not good, but you can't tell because you can't see the unhealthiness. And for me, the problem I have is, health today and fitness, I think it's become a lot easier to be able to achieve. A lot of people take steroids, a lot of people have there's cheat codes, etc. etc. There's many different things. However, the pure health, I believe, is on the inside of your body. And I always used to say, and I still do say now, but I used to very push this slogan a lot, that I will make your insides healthy and that will make your outsides show the results. And what I mean by that is that you need to have a good gut health, 100%. And that's why I have the raw milk, good for my gut health. And because, it's just important for longevity is very important. Functional strength, there's a lot of guys who are in very, very good shape who, if you ask them to lift something in a certain way, they wouldn't be able to. If you ask them to, the hybrid, it's hard to explain what I'm trying to say, but the functional strength, they don't have functional strength, basically. They are, of course, they're strong, but they have, strength, like isolated movement strength is what I was trying to find the words to say. And with that, their bodies are not, they can't touch their backs, they're walking through sideways through the doors. It's not healthy. Your body's not, I think the healthiest in terms of fitness people in the world, I think HYROX people are up there. I do love the HYROX scene, to be fair. Not the scene, I love the event and what, how it pushes your body. I mean, the scene's like, there's a bunch of mugs who do it. Like, I'm going to do one, so I'll probably be involved in that. But people, the stereotype of people who do HYROX. And, the phrase they talk about, not HYROX, you want to be stronger and bigger than the runners, but faster and can run more than the bodybuilders. Finding that balance of where you're strong functionally and you look good, whilst also being able to perform optimally and being able to sprint, being able to run long distances. These are all human, basic human, just things, just basic human activities that we should be able to do. Every human should be able to do. And I reckon, you guys comment down below what you think as well. But I reckon that I don't know how to describe it. So what I was basically going to say is that the majority of people in the world, what percentage of those people have actually sprinted since they've become an adult? And I reckon it's low, like fully flat out sprinted. I reckon it's low. I reckon 5%. Not even that, Maybe, around 5% of adults have fully sprinted. In their whole life, fully sprinted since turning an adult. And that's just an example of the healthness. The health. And basically my point for this video is that there's going to be a lot of information out there, people giving their views and opinions when their insides are all over the place. Maybe poor heart health, low lung volume, their lungs are weak from whatever they're doing. Cartilage damage, maybe that can't be avoided, but there's some things that obviously cause them more than others. Poor, mobility, joint mobility, and just general pain. A lot of people don't take their mobility and injury prevention very seriously. So their quality of movement and quality of life lowers a lot, especially as they get older. Not taking care of, the knees, the wrists, etc., etc. You're gonna have problems, and it won't then, as you get older, it won't then be enjoyable. And yeah, you have guys who are in great shape, but they're not healthy at that point. If you can't walk without pain, that's not health. I think the brain function is a massive thing. I think there's so many processed foods and supplements, etc., which I think actually probably damage your brain health. Of course, social media is one of the worst. Destroyed kids' dopamine receptors. I mean, mine are probably a bit on fire. That's the truth. Like growing up and even now, the short dopamine bursts, really unhealthy for the brain. And all these little things add up. And if you imagine your health bars, each one little thing like bringing your health bar down, and you can only put it back up with making a change in decisions, changing your lifestyle. So that has covered most of what I wanted to talk about in this video. As long as the message that I've got across is that the most important health that you need is also on the inside. If you're gonna get jacked by doing steroids, eating a bunch of crap shit to bulk up, and all these other things I've spoken about in the video. If that's the route you're gonna go down to build a physique, and you think that's gonna be healthy, it's not. It'd be much better to not build muscle and keep your body inside very, very healthy. Obviously, that means you need to do physical activity, but it doesn't mean you have to do a bunch of strength training where you build loads of muscles and get jacked. It does not mean that. But you need to prioritize your actual health. So obviously I can elaborate more if I wanted to. That's not what this video is about. But what do those steps look like for you? If you need help, then you can send me a message, of course, about what those steps would be to becoming the healthiest version of yourself. And that is so, so important, that everyone has some sort of progression, some sort of program in place, a mental program in place where they're going to follow steps and progress in their health. And if you guys are struggling with that, then definitely send me a message and we can sort something out for you. So that is the video all wrapped up now. If you enjoyed, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And once again, thank you for watching the videos.